Firstly, I'd just like to apologise if my voice isn't that easy to understand or if it fades. I'm just going through a bit of an awkward spell at the moment, so just be a little bit tolerant. I'm standing because I've nominated, because that's what I do. I haven't not nominated for a local body election since 2001. And in 2001, when I nominated, I actually pulled the pin. And I pulled the pin at a meeting just like this, except that the candidates are perhaps a bit better looking, Ron. And I looked at the candidates and I thought, the community doesn't need me, because there was an excellent grouping. And I think there is possibly today as well. Well, not possibly, there definitely is. So that's what I do, that's what I enjoy doing. In my private life, I was a house, home and land developer, in part. And that was about just building a home for the gentleman here, sitting down, listening to him. What was it he wanted? What could he afford? What were his needs? And I would come up with issues and options to meet his affordability and what he was hoping to achieve. I thought being on the council was going to be exactly that. The second big part of my life from an employment income producing side of things was we had a coach company, and that was the same. So I had buses and people would say, can you take me somewhere? What's it going to cost? And I would provide them with options. So I'm about meeting the needs of people. I listened to Mark actually online the other day as an architect, the same sort of mindset. In 2001, I did nominate out of frustration over stormwater, and intriguing you should mention it a little bit earlier about those issues, and they remain with us today. That's actually what triggered my interest, stormwater. I remember in the 2005 floods, the developers had done their bit, I was going to say your worship, Stuart, but the developers had done their thing in Papamoa, but the council hadn't got around from memory to doing Harrison's Cut. So once again behind the eight ball. But generally speaking, the council was pretty switched on. So that's what I'm about. In my own home private life, I like to live out what I talk about. Most candidates are a little bit like those rugby players on the sideline or on the TV the other night who watched the All Blacks. Some of you would have been sitting there thinking, get that prick off the field, I could do better than that. You've never played rugby and you haven't got hope in hell. But you sound the part, you look the part and say you give it a go. And a lot of council, and it's not a criticism, it's just reality. Unless you've been on the field, you don't really know, you wouldn't have a clue what it's about. So if you elect me, I'll be representing you. I won't come up with all of the ideas as much as I applaud them. Thank you, Mark, and others. But I will listen to them and hopefully advocate for them. And that's the role of elected member. One of my concerns, or one of my biggest concerns about the Papamoa Regional Council is the community doesn't understand what it does, the critical role that it plays in our environment. I'm hugely concerned about losing the Papamoa Regional Council. You know that there's a push, don't you, to dismember it, to revisit local government. We can do it better and all that sort of stuff. That's just a precursor to getting rid of it to a unitary council. They will tell you, like with Three Waters, there'll be cost savings and all sorts of benefits for the consumer. Absolute bollocks, in my opinion. All of the activity areas for the regional council will remain. They will have to be adopted by whatever council they create in its path. The only thing that will change is that there will be reduced democracy with reduced representation. Otherwise, everything will carry on. And you'll end up with the fox looking after the hen house. We need the regional council to have that step back, this is my opinion, and to be able to say, hey, no, you're not going to, crap in our waterways or whatever the case might be. In my own private life, getting back to where I was initially, I like to live out what I tell people and lead by example. So who am I in my private life? I told you about my business life. In my private life, I share my home, I was going to say, with my grandchildren, but they really share it with me. So I live with my grandchildren and my daughter, my wife of course, and we live out those experiences that I hope to deliver for the community exactly what I do for my family, and it's about taking care of your own, okay? So now I'll move on to the questions here, because I'm running out of breath. Please comment on the idea to keep annual rate increases below or whatever. I've got a huge focus on rates. I've got a huge focus on effective and efficient outcomes. When I was a city councillor, and I was for 12 years, very much celebrated by, again, Stuart Crosby. Don't choke. Rates was a big thing for me, but it wasn't about, we must keep the rates down, we can't afford them. Hell, I'm struggling, I'm paying $8 grand a year or so. But it was about ensuring that what we are paying, we're getting the best value for it. So that's a big focus for me. Effective, cost-effective outcomes, and I totally support. I think it's irresponsible for the council not to have a rates cap policy, so that when the staff go shopping, they know there's a limited amount that they're allowed to spend without coming back to the elected members or the community. Don't get sucked in by these people that say, don't support the rate cap. I'm adding my questions now. Is that what we do? Yeah. So don't get sucked in by, no, we can't have a rates cap, that's going to stop us meeting infrastructure. That's all bollocks. Okay? All it means is when you send the grandkids out to buy a bottle of milk, that's what they come back with. And if they think they need something else, they ring you and check first. Now the next question. That's the one. You're joking. I was